오세요.
오세요.
Subject now has to do with the eclipse. While we were up there at Yosemite for the poetry conference, we were residing in Lee Vining at the resort hotel there at Mono Lake. We had a perfect vantage point and so forth. So a week ago, that was about to happen. It would have been a Monday. And here in the Tribune a week ago, the tribal members seeking renewal in the solar eclipse. This is by Felicia Fonseca. Fonseca is a famous lighting artist in Northern California. While everybody in the world is watching this, as she is saying, in the Navajo culture, the passing of the moon over the sun is an intimate moment in which the sun is reborn, and tribal members take time out for themselves. No talking, no eating, no drinking, no lying, and no fussing. It's the time of renewal. Yeah, it goes kind of through different things like that and ends up with in the article, the Cherokee. Any eclipse is caused by some giant cosmic frog, swallowing these things. And the Cherokees beat drums and everything to get the frog to drop the moon or drop the sun. And it kind of ends up, everything, the idea is that this is a time of change and renewal. That gives me a segue into this scroll, which I had hanging there in our motel room. This is an ancient Japanese Shinto subject of the Kasuga deer. When the ancestors of the Japanese, roughly 2,000 years ago, called themselves the Yamato, and they entered into southern Japan, of course those islands were inhabited by other people. But here in this place where the Yamato set up their capital, eventually Nara, that's a place of the deer. I've been there. And there's a small, really hill, like Mount Misaka. And many deer are there. There's a little forest there. And there were, in those ancient days, the shaman is a woman. And here I do have a little Japanese carving of her. The camera will pick it up. And kind of like Delphi, that is that she's like the oracle that the deer deity speaks through. And that really existed for a long time. Eventually, of course, with the Yamato and people coming in there, it did become very much like Delphi, with many Shinto shrines, and eventually the Chinese Buddhism came in there, and then Buddhism got mixed together with it. And since there is a deer in Buddhism, that Buddha gave the sermon at Deer Park, that also figures in there. So all of this, the Shinto is a Chinese name for the way of the kami. This is a kami. And Shinto is everything for youth and renewal, rejuvenation. So at this time they would have a ceremony to rejuvenate the deer. Minari. Minari would be right now the ceremony to rejuvenate the deity, the deer. And up here up on the top, this is a Shinto like altar piece that's made of it's twisted rice grass. This is pretty standard for a Shinto symbol, we'll call it. And here's my portrait of the moon, definitely thinking of the moon and the sun being intimate in this. And then my poem to go along with this, that comes from there. You got a chorus over there. Song for the deer and myself to return on. This morning, as I looked out of the east-facing window before dawn, and a few stars were still caught in the fragile weft of ebony night, I felt so inspired. I sang the song which Claudia taught me, a song to call the deer in Yaqui for hunting deer. And I am really hunting something as magic as the deer in this Mono Lake resort. The timelessness of the hammock of our true mother's belly. Well, it works, of course, and the deer came into this room and wondered at finding himself in a motel near Yosemite. Now the stag and I are imagining which song to get him back to the Huyania and to get us all back Deanna, Vivian, Claudia, Jack, and Coyote. Because if it works, I'm going with them while it's still early and yet not too late to go home. They never heard that one before.
No.